And I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more, just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. Okay. We didn't have to do that, but we did it. Well, that might go in.
You might use it. I don't know.
La 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 la. Here we go.
It's the Bible reloaded, the logic explosion, like Jesus and Moses, but it's Hugo and Jake. The Bible is jaded, and most of it taken, so get educated with Hugo and Jake. Pull up you and stop what you're doing, it's Bible reloaded time. They call it debated, the theists will hate it, like talking and taking, but it's Hugo and Jake. So on with the show then, it's not candy coated, it's the Bible reloaded with Hugo and Jake.
Hello, everyone. I'm Hugo.
I'm Jake.
And this is the Bible Reloaded.
I did it different this time. We've done it a million times. I had to change it.
I see that. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
So you remember in a previous episode, I showed you that website that stole our name and stole our logo.
Sally. You're probably watching this right now.
And she probably accounts for a lot of our dislikes on videos, too.
She's probably the one that always dislikes. We always get at least one.
Yeah.
I feel like it's her. She's on a crusade like, fuck those guys! Those fucking white kids.
She showed up in that video and said, it's not a copy.
Yeah.
And pretty awesomely, I saw when she did this is just fucking awesome, and I'm glad she did, because now we have more content. She posted an entire page on her website as to why her logo is not the same as ours, which indirectly shows exactly why her logo is exactly the same as ours. First of all, she takes the logos, boom, puts them right next to each other.
Right.
Good way to do a comparison. The first comparison she does is says the shape.
The shape.
Her shape is a black circle.
It is a black circle.
Our shape is a black square. But if you look at the page, that is a black circle inside a white square, which is the exact same size as our logo.
It shouldn't say shape, black circle. It should say shape, white square.
I don't think that's... Clearly, we weren't saying, man, she copied our logo. Look at that shape that surrounds the actual image. That wasn't the issue. I think
the inside's the meat of it.
Then she says, the background. Hers, she says, is bright, glory, starry universe. Okay.
Okay.
She says ours is scientific symbol.
Scientific symbol.
Does she... That's part... I mean, the nucleus is covered, but that's an atomic symbol.
That's an atom?
I don't know if you know what atoms are, but that's an atom.
Is it glory? Is it a glorious starry universe? It looks like kind of a normal night to me.
Main features. I don't know why she considers these the main features, but okay.
I don't know either.
Fair-haired man, unkempt beard. See, I disagree that hers has an unkempt beard.
I think that's extremely trimmed.
It looks like Steve Shive's beard.
Yeah, which is a nice beard.
Yeah. She says, ours is a dark-haired man, groomed beard.
Okay, here's the thing. Even if yours is fair-haired and ours is dark-haired, that makes yours inaccurate because he was an Arab man. You're wrong, so you don't even have the right Jesus. We have the correct Jesus, who historically wore tuxedo t-shirts.
Posture, heads up and looking straight ahead. Posture, head slightly tilted down to one side. Are we really comparing the angle at which the head is tilted? Disposition, her Jesus, smiling, happy, easygoing.
How can you judge that?
I know, right? She says ours is serious, tense, and nervous.
Nervous? A man dual-wielding revolvers is nervous. Have you ever seen Clint Eastwood nervous? Never, because it doesn't happen. I don't even think he understands what that word means. He is all confidence, just like our Jesus.
Clothing, black robe, white undergarment. Our clothing is tuxedo. Sure, if that makes you feel better. Also, not exactly what we're saying when we said you copied our logo. Accessories, 2 gold leaf-edged Bibles. Okay, and ours are clearly guns.
I like how she said 2 357 Magnum pistols. I didn't know what caliber those were.
I didn't know you could judge the caliber of fake guns by looking at them.
They're borderline clip art, so it's like...
Yeah. Subliminal message, according to hers, which I didn't know either of us had a subliminal message.
I didn't know. That makes me feel important.
Hers is forgiving savior. Ours is menacing messiah.
Wait. Can a messiah be menacing?
I think those are
That's
juxtaposed.
a dichotomy, right? Yeah. It doesn't make sense. So here's what I want to put on, because that's the end of her list. Here's what I want to put on the end of our list. Overall theme: Jesus with two things in his hands.
With a background of some sort.
There you go.
And then she puts logos of Volkswagen and WordPress and says, are these the same, basically?
No.
Well, no. But if WordPress called itself Volkswagen, there'd probably be an issue.
Yeah. Also, there's a little bit more nuance and detail that goes into our two logos rather than the blue circle with a letter inside of it.
And here's the thing, too. I personally don't give a shit.
I don't either. I just don't want you to deny it.
I know.
Just say, okay.
Just say, and don't pretend you made this without ever seeing our logo.
No.
That's absurd.
Just be like, you're right, it was a good idea, it looked good, I wanted to copy it.
And that's great. That's fine.
I
That's
don't give a shit at all.
Some people in our comments were like, you should sue him. Fuck no. That's
I'm not
stupid.
gonna sue you.
That's
I don't
stupid.
care enough about you.
I don't give a shit. It's not even about that. I just don't think I think frivolous lawsuits are ridiculous.
I do too.
But again, I have to say, our logo was still better.
And you are a she-bag.
It's a she-bag.
A she-bag is a female douchebag.
Anyway, so last time was our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah.
We had some Shives action. We had some Creationist Cat action. We had other people that don't matter to me.
Yeah. But before we actually start this episode, we have an announcement.
Yeah, of sorts. So if you remember, if you guys have been sticking around for a long time, we actually had a plan to do another channel. And we ended up moving. We had some shit occur, and we just didn't have time. I feel like we have time now. It feels like the right time. We are going through with unpopular culture.
Yeah.
This will be an entertainment channel, I'd say. It's not like we're going to have skits. It's not like we're Smosh. But it's going to be, basically, it's a very similar format, but we play video games, watch movies, talk about shows and stuff. It'll be fun.
Yeah, and it'll still be us, so you know it'll be good. But before we do any episodes of that, we need a theme song for that show.
Yeah, so we're going to do it the same way, and yes, Dorian Silk is involved, so there's your competition. But he gets no bias. I will be ruthless with that man. He made a masterpiece. He peaked. There's only downhill from there. So you guys have a really great shot. So if you're a music creator and you really want into this and you want some credit on the show, let me know, and we'll figure out a way. We don't want to reveal the logo yet, really, but you'll get a sneak peek. You'll get the first look at the logo. Please don't distribute it. I mean, it's not that big a deal, but it's kind of fun this way. And that way you can get some inspiration. We'll tell you kind of what we're looking for. It can be a collaborative thing, like you hit us with a rough draft, and we'll tell you kind of what we're looking for, what we like, what we don't like. And, it could be a process. It could be fun. And, hopefully it works out. It worked out last time.
Yeah. So, last time, Saul was told by Samuel that, hey, you're going to be king of the Israelites, because the Israelites said, hey, we want a king. And God said, oh, I don't want that, but okay, here's Saul.
And then Saul's like, I was just looking for my donkeys, guy. And he's like, don't worry about it, you're king now.
Yeah, so now Saul's on his way home, and let's see what happens when he arrives home.
Woohoo! We're so good at making you anticipate things.
I'm not going to finish it. Fuck you guys.
That would have been the second time you used that.
That's why I did it differently. And we begin at chapter 10, verse 9. Saul made king. As Saul turned to leave Samuel, God changed Saul's heart, and all these signs were fulfilled that day. So again, we have the Lord, in the first sentence of this episode, by the way, interfering with someone's free will, changing someone's heart. I understand that some Christians might argue, well, when they say God changed his heart, they don't mean that God physically changed it. They're saying that
he persuaded him?
No, I think that they would say that the knowing of God, understanding God, made him change, not that God made him change, if that makes sense.
That's stupid.
Although I would argue they have as much to back that up as I have to say God messed with his free will. We're both just saying how we interpret it, so
fuck you.
That's my favorite part about doing the show. They can say they interpret it one way, I can say I interpret it another way.
And because it's our show, it's the objective truth.
That's the opposite of what I was going to say.
I know.
But, okay. When he and a servant arrived at Gibeah, a procession of prophets met him. The Spirit of God came powerfully upon him, and he joined in their prophesying. And remember, Samuel said in the last episode,
you're going to meet people and they'll change your life, basically.
And he said you're going to prophesy with them.
And you're going to be a different man.
Yeah. When all those who had formerly known him saw him prophesying with the prophets, they asked each other, what is this that has happened to the son of Kish? Is Saul also amongst the prophets?
Sounds like Saul used to talk shit about those prophets.
And they're like, is Saul part of that? A man who lived there answered, and who is their father? So it became a saying, is Saul among the prophets? That's a saying. People say that, you know.
Yeah, I say that roughly 2 times a day.
After Saul stopped prophesying, he went to the high place. Again, last episode we made fun of the whole high place concept, but the high place is actually where they would go, and it would be a literal place that is higher than the surrounding areas.
Right.
And they would use it to sacrifice stuff, burnt offerings.
Right. Is Saul also among the prophets? Am I right?
Right?
That's a weird inhale. It's like you aborted. It's like that video Chocolate Rain. You ever see that? He goes,
I turn away from the microphone to breathe. Yeah. I wish we had some Chocolate Rain money. God damn. Good for him.
yeah, Tezande.
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate rain. Some stay dry and others feel the pain. Chocolate rain.
Verse 14. Now Saul's uncle asked him and his servant, "Where have you been?" "Looking for the donkeys," he said. "But when we saw that they were not to be found, we went to Samuel." Saul's uncle said, "Tell me what Samuel said to you." Saul replied, "He assured us that the donkeys had been found." But he did not tell his uncle what Samuel had said about the kingship.
They have the most boring conversations.
I know.
What'd you do? Donkeys.
Oh. You find them? No, Samuel said they'd be found. Oh. Well, that was pointless.
Alright. Did you make the Velveeta mac and cheese while I was gone?
Velveeta mac... Can I just stop this and say for a second? Goddamn, Velveeta, you make some awesome mac and cheese.
It's some of the only, like, boxed food that I enjoy almost every single... I don't think I've ever had a bad experience with Velveeta shells and cheese.
It's brilliant.
Have you ever had the deluxe mac and cheese from Kraft?
You mean the stuff that you actually bake? Or
No.
Do you mean just the
It's called deluxe. And
It's
it's
their
like sharper
Velveeta.
cheddar. Cheddar?
Cheddar!
It's cheddar. But no, it's really delicious too. Mac and cheese is really good.
I think I have. It's like noodles. It's macaroni noodles.
Yeah.
I've had it. It's okay. I still
It's not
like.
as good as Velveeta, but
I like
it's
Velveeta
pretty
more.
solid. It's a good switch up.
I feel like you
wins? Who wins? Cheddar or Velveeta? Vote.
Surprisingly, we're not paid for that. We're just stupid.
That's true. Can we get paid for that though, please?
I'll take payment
I'll
in
take
mac
some
and
of that
cheese.
sweet cheesy money.
I'll just take the cheese. I don't even need money.
Just cheese or saucy cheese. God, we need to get on topic.
You can cut like most.
None
of
of
that.
it.
You can cut all of it.
All in.
No, come on.
100% in.
No one's gonna listen to that shit anyway. Verse 17. Samuel summoned the people of Israel to the Lord at Mitzvah and said to them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, has said. I brought Israel up out of Egypt." Man, that happened centuries ago, and he is riding that.
But he keeps going, he keeps dipping back into that well.
I know, but he doesn't even mention, "Oh yeah, I'm also the one who told you to go to Egypt.
Yeah.
I put you there."
He could say, I created the universe. I could destroy you in an instant. No, he's like, remember Egypt? That was that was an inconvenience for me at best.
I brought Israel out of Egypt, and I delivered you from the power of Egypt and all of the kingdoms that oppressed you. Nah, and they killed them with swords, but okay.
But weren't you also responsible for them being in power in the first place?
Shut the fuck up. But you have now rejected your God, who saves you out of all of your disasters and calamities.
Even that time you lit us all on fire?
Well, you know.
And you opened the earth and it swallowed us
It
whole?
was your fault.
Okay.
And you have said, "No, appoint a king over us. So now present yourselves before the Lord by your tribes and clans." So the Lord is mad, basically, that they want a king instead of a religious oligarchy.
Yes.
Oh.
That's how that works.
Because literally, the priests were in charge. The judges, as they would refer to them, they were in charge of the people. But now they're saying, no, we want a king. And sure, the religious aspect will still be probably the biggest cultural influence on
I'd
us.
say so, usually is.
But we will have a king who will deal with political matters. But God's like, no, I want to be in charge of all that shit.
Why does he need to micromanage? That's the worst part about a manager. You can't be a personality A type. You gotta step back a little bit.
You gotta allow people to do their jobs.
Yeah, man. You gotta delegate, man. You gotta learn to delegate.
Your job is to make sure they do their jobs, not to do their job.
Yeah.
Verse 20. When Samuel had all of Israel come forward by tribes, the tribe of Benjamin was taken by lot. Then he brought forward the tribe of Benjamin, clan by clan, and Matri's clan was taken. Finally, Saul's son Kish was taken. But when they looked for him, he was not to be found. So they inquired further of the Lord, "Has the man come here yet?" And the Lord said, "Yes, he has hidden himself amongst the supplies."
Stay in the supplies, Saul.
But they ran and brought him out, and as he stood among the people, he was a head taller than any of the others. Samuel said to all the people, Do you see the man the Lord has chosen? There was no one like him among all the people. Look at how much taller he is, by like a head.
Yeah.
Then the people shouted, Long live the king! Man, they got this king thing down pat immediately. They're like, we know how to react to this. We've never had a monarchy before, but we know how to worship someone without any reason to do so.
Was there seriously no in-between area? Like, they talk about it? They're
No.
like, I don't know if I like this
Like,
guy.
see this guy, this is your king now. All right, all hail the king.
He's
Woo!
pretty tall. Is he even from here?
It's like Invader Zim. They choose the leaders based on how tall they are.
That show creeps me out.
The
It
tall
makes me
ones.
feel dirty. So does Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
That's the point, though. It's supposed to be how the aliens see
I know,
humans.
which is a good thing, but Ed, Ed, and Eddie has no excuse.
Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I liked Ed, Ed,
was
and Eddie.
gross
I don't
to
think
me.
I'd like it now, though.
Ew. They played in trash and ate jawbreakers.
Verse 25. Samuel explained to the people the rights and the duties of the kingship. He wrote them down on a scroll and deposited it before the Lord. Then Samuel dismissed the people to go to their own home. Saul also went to his home in Gibeah, accompanied by valiant men whose hearts God had touched. But some scoundrels said, How can this fellow save us? They despised him and brought him no gifts, but Saul kept silent.
Wait, those don't sound like scoundrels. Those sound like reasonable people. They're like, seriously, is this guy right for the job? We didn't really vote on it.
So we're not going to give him gifts. And Saul is now the good guy for what? Not ordering them death because they didn't bring him gifts? Chapter 11. Saul rescues the city of Jabesh. Nahash the Amorite went up and besieged Jabesh Gilead. Now, as you know, the Bible is made up of many disparate ancient scriptures that were put together into a book.
Yeah.
Although, the Old Testament is made out of things that were already books but put together.
Yeah.
But even those were made up of desperate scriptures.
Probably a lot to do with the Persian occupation that we'll get into later.
Yeah. But anyway, this Nahash guy, apparently mentioned in the Dead Sea Scrolls, which are not canon within the Bible as far as Christians are concerned. But within the Dead Sea Scrolls, we learn a little bit more about him, and here's what the Dead Sea Scrolls have to say about him.
Now Nahash, king of the Ammonites, oppressed the Gadites and Reubenites severely. He gouged out all their right eyes and struck terror and dread in Israel. Not a man remained among the Israelites beyond the Jordan whose right eyes were not gouged out by Nahash, king of the Ammonites, except the 7,000 men that fled from the Ammonites and entered Jabesh Gilead about a month later.
So apparently this guy had a habit of gouging out people's eyes, I don't know why, just 'cause? All the men of Jabesh said to him, Make a treaty with us, and we will be subject to you. But Nahash the Amorite said, I will make a treaty with you only on the condition that I gouge out the right eye of every one of you, and so bring disgrace on all Israel. So people are going to look at him and be like, your eye's gouged out, that one guy must have done it, you're disgraced.
Why is that? Why does he have to do it, though? Why is he so compelled to be like, okay, but there's one condition. Oh, do you want money? Do you want women? Do you want cattle and goods and surplus? No.
The eyes.
I want a pile of right eyes. I don't want the left ones. I want all your right ones. And I'll know. I've gouged enough eyes to tell.
Because if people see your left eye out, they're just going to think it was an accident. Right eye, they know that's my signature.
They'll call me the overkill killer.
Verse 3. The elders of Jabesh said to him, Give us 7 days so we can send messengers throughout Israel. If no one comes to rescue us, we will surrender to you.
Why even just run away?
Yeah, I don't know. You can't run an entire city away.
Relocate.
The point is the guy is trying to take over the city, so
fucking leave.
I guess. When the messengers came to Gibeah of Saul, reported these terms to the people, they all wept aloud.
Well, no shit.
Just then, Saul was returning from the fields, behind his oxen, and he asked, what was Saul doing in the fields? He's a fucking king. Anyway, behind his oxen, and he was asking, What is wrong with everyone? Why are they weeping? I'm a king. Then they repeated to him what the men of Jabesh had said.
He's kind of like Jefferson. He was in the fields, but he wasn't doing any work. That was for the people of different color.
When Saul heard their words, the Spirit of God came powerfully upon him, and he burned with anger, because he wouldn't have been angry anyway? Okay. He took a pair of oxen, cut them into pieces, and sent the pieces by messengers throughout Israel, proclaiming, This is what will be done to the oxen of anyone who does not follow Saul and Samuel. Then the terror of the Lord fell upon the people, and they came out together as one. When Saul mustered them at Bezek, the men of Israel numbered 300,000 and those of Judah 30,000. How many Jews do they go through in wars?
A lot of
Seriously, in the Old Testament, more than the population would have been able to support at the time.
The infant mortality rate was just so high, I don't see how they could have ever gotten that high.
And again, it's 330,000 fighting men who were actively in the military. Even if you say all the available men were in the military, that's only about half of the people.
Yeah.
Less than half, because there are also children. Verse 9. They told the messengers who had come, "Say to the men of Jabesh Gilead, by the time the sun is hot tomorrow, you will be rescued. Sun is always hot." Just thought I'd mention that. When the messengers went out and reported this to the men of Jabesh, they were elated. They said to the Amorites, "Tomorrow we will surrender to you. You can do... you can... and you can do to us whatever you like."
Oh, man.
The next day, Saul separated his men into 3 divisions. During the last watch of the night, they broke into the camp of the Amorites and slaughtered them until the heat of the day. God, that's fucking brutal. Those who survived were scattered, so that not 2 of them were left together.
Wow.
So they're like, yeah, tomorrow we're gonna surrender to you, and then sneak attack. Isn't that against, like, the Geneva Convention? You're not allowed to, like, say you're surrendering and then go on and attack?
Saul, war criminal.
In fairness, it's a good strategy.
It's a great
I'm not
strategy.
saying it's not.
I would totally do that.
Sun Tzu would be on board, it's just fucked up.
Yeah.
Something can be both fucked up and effective. Infanticide, almost 100% success rate.
This, for my nerds out there, the South African plan from World War Z, the book. Get your shit together, read the book. That's where they use pockets of people as like bait.
Right.
So that the main population can escape. You guys would be the bait.
Then we move on to Saul confirmed as king, as if we didn't already have confirmation 4 times. Verse 12. The people then said to Samuel, "Who was it who asked, 'Shall Saul reign over us?' Turn these men over to us so that we may put them to death."
Ooh.
There is no dissension amongst the ranks of the Israelites, apparently.
They need to chill a little bit, though. Simmer down.
But Saul said, "No one will be put to death today. For this day, the Lord has rescued Israel." What?
Wait, so what? Saul kind of did that.
Yeah.
With his savagery.
Then Samuel said to the people, "Come, let us go to Gilgal, and there renew the kingship." So all the people went to Gilgal and made Saul king in the presence of the Lord. Which, I guess, the Lord is supposed to be everywhere, so you could have done it there, but whatever. There they sacrificed fellowship offerings before the Lord, and Saul and all the Israelites held a great celebration.
I imagine the Lion King. Do you think they held Saul up over a cliff while he was naked?
I think so. I think it was like a mix of Lion King and Michael Jackson hanging his child out a window. Somewhere in between there. I'm not saying it's a mix, but it's somewhere between those 2 extremes. Between elegance and just...
What the fuck, Mike?
Yeah, somewhere in between those.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Solid app. Solid app.
Okay, so I guess that's it for this episode. You got very little Bible because we are just full of hilarity.
Yeah, so next time we have the sad news of Samuel's farewell speech.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah.
You can always donate to our Patreon, and I think it's good to go over that every once in a while. How that works is you donate based on episode, so you can say I want to donate $1 per episode, and then we do 4 a month. It's always 4.
Yeah, we don't do any more than 4. I know we've been uploading on Fridays a lot now, but we never monetize more than 4.
Yeah.
And for reference, if you only want to donate to 1 episode per month, you can set it up that way so your maximum is still $1. Yeah. So, you know, it works for you so we don't fuck you on accident. Yeah. Because I'd only fuck you consensually.
You can follow us on Twitter at Hugo Reloaded.
Or you can follow me at Bible Reloaded. Don't forget, we're doing that theme song thing. Let me know if you want in. We could do this. We could collab.
Yeah.
We could do a thing.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Until next time, I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
And this has been The Bible Reloaded. And next week, we become a hit Scottish pop group.